Ford just lit a fuse under the entire automotive industry, sending shockwaves through dealerships, competitors, and customers alike. In a move no one saw coming, Ford has made a game-changing announcement that could rewrite the rules of the car market overnight. We're talking about a decision so bold that it's forcing rivals to scramble, slashing prices, and rethinking production plans in a desperate bid to keep up. This isn't just another marketing gimmick. It's a strategic bombshell that could either skyrocket Ford ahead of the competition or completely reshape the way Americans buy cars. Industry insiders are already calling this the most aggressive market play Ford has made in over a decade. Analysts are saying it's like watching the start of a price war and a technology race all at once. Ford stock jumped within hours of the announcement, while executives at other automakers are reportedly holding emergency meetings. The ripple effects are already visible. Inventory strategies are being torn apart, supplier contracts are being renegotiated, and even electric vehicle plans are being rushed forward to counter Ford's move. What makes this announcement truly shocking is how it hits every corner of the market. Ford isn't targeting just one segment. They're going after trucks, SUVs, EVs, and even the budget-conscious buyer all in one sweeping strategy. The company's message is clear: they're done playing defense. From aggressive MSRP reductions on popular models to rolling out advanced tech features as standard, Ford is essentially forcing customers to ask one question: why would I buy anything else? And the timing couldn't be more perfect or more dangerous. With interest rates still high, used car prices softening, and automakers struggling with unsold inventory, Ford's bold pricing shift could corner the market. But here's where it gets even more disruptive. Dealers are being told to prepare for a sales surge unlike anything since the early 2000s. Ford isn't just betting on attracting new customers. They're openly aiming to pull loyal buyers away from competitors like GM, Toyota, and even Tesla. Because the real twist in this story isn't just about cheaper cars, it's about control. Ford is changing how cars are sold, blurring the line between dealership and direct-to-consumer sales. This hybrid model could mean lower overhead, faster delivery times, and more customization for buyers. It's a direct challenge to Tesla's online sales dominance and a slap in the face to traditional dealership models. The message is simple: adapt or get left behind. If this momentum holds, we could see an all-out battle for market dominance, one where Ford has already fired the first shot. Competitors might respond with deeper discounts, flash incentives, or rushed product launches. But as one industry insider put it, Ford didn't just throw a rock in the pond. They threw a grenade. And the shockwaves are only beginning to hit. Within just hours of Ford announcement, the response from rivals has been nothing short of chaotic. GM dealerships across the country were reportedly calling headquarters, asking if they should start marking down vehicles immediately to avoid losing customers. Toyota, known for holding firm on pricing, is said to be quietly preparing incentives on its best-selling models. Even Tesla, which has been aggressively adjusting its own prices this year, is now facing renewed pressure as Ford undercuts them not just on cost, but on feature sets too. The public reaction has been explosive. Social media is flooded with posts from buyers saying they're putting off current purchases to see Ford's new offers. Forums are buzzing with speculation, with some calling this the Black Friday of car sales. For customers who have been priced out of the new car market over the last few years, Ford's timing feels like a lifeline. And for investors, it's a gamble they're watching closely. If the bet pays off, Ford could gain market share faster than any automaker in the past decade. But this isn't just about numbers, it's about perception. For years, Ford has been battling the narrative that it's losing ground in innovation and EV development. This announcement doesn't just address that, it flips the script entirely. By bundling advanced driver assist systems, improved battery range, and upgraded infotainment into their vehicles at no extra cost, Ford is essentially telling consumers they can get cutting-edge tech without paying luxury brand prices. Behind the scenes, however, this aggressive move comes with massive logistical challenges. Sources say Ford is accelerating production lines, pushing suppliers to ramp up deliveries, and even renegotiating raw material contracts to keep costs in check. If any part of that supply chain falters, the entire plan could backfire, leading to delays and frustrated customers. And in today's hyper-connected world, one viral post about a delayed order can undo weeks of positive PR. Still, the risk might be worth it. Ford's leadership knows that the car market is at a breaking point. Buyers are tired of record-high prices, outdated dealership experiences, and feeling like every new car is just a more expensive version of last year's model. By shattering those expectations, Ford isn't just chasing sales, it's trying to redefine the entire buyer experience. And now, as automakers brace for the ripple effects, one question looms over the industry. How far will Ford push this? Because if the rumors are true, the announcement we've seen so far is only the beginning. According to multiple insider leaks, Ford's shocking announcement might just be the first domino. Several industry sources claim there's another phase to this plan, one that could hit the market in the next 60 to 90 days. And if it's true, it could take the already shaken auto industry and throw it into complete chaos. The whispers say Ford is preparing a second wave of price cuts, combined with a financing blitz offering near 0% interest on select models. In an economy where high interest rates have frozen buyers out, that kind of deal would be an instant game changer. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about moving existing inventory. Rumor has it Ford is also preparing to unveil a brand new, lower-cost EV designed to go head-to-head with budget electric cars from China, like BYD and NIO, that are slowly creeping into the global market. By launching it now, Ford could block those competitors before they gain a foothold in the US. And unlike past EV attempts, this one is expected to roll off production lines faster, using a new battery platform designed for mass scalability. If these reports are accurate, Ford is essentially declaring an all-out war on two fronts: traditional automakers at home and aggressive newcomers abroad. The strategy is risky, but if pulled off, it could cement Ford as the dominant force in both gas-powered and electric segments for years to come. Industry veterans are calling it the most dangerous and brilliant chess move the company has made since the original Mustang launch. Dealers, however, are bracing for a roller coaster. While many are excited about the surge in showroom traffic, some are nervous about the pressure deep discounts could put on profit margins. Others worry about whether the factory can keep up with demand if Ford's bet works too well. One dealer in Texas put it bluntly: if they can actually deliver what they're promising, we'll be swimming in customers. But if they can't, it could turn into a PR nightmare overnight. Meanwhile, Wall Street is split. Bulls see this as the spark that could send Ford's market value soaring, while skeptics warn that undercutting prices too aggressively could burn cash reserves and squeeze profits. Either way, one thing is certain. The market is watching Ford's every move like a hawk, and every competitor is scrambling to rewrite their own playbooks before it's too late. And yet, beneath all the headlines, there's another layer to this story, one that hasn't hit the mainstream yet. A layer involving government incentives, looming trade battles, and whispers of behind-the-scenes talks with major tech companies that could make Ford's plan even more explosive. Behind closed doors, insiders claim Ford has been in quiet discussions with major tech giants. Names like Google, Amazon, and even Apple have been floated. The goal? To integrate next-generation connectivity, AI-assisted driving, and seamless home-to-car integration into Ford's lineup faster than anyone thought possible. If these partnerships materialize, it won't just be about cheaper cars. It'll be about creating vehicles that are so technologically advanced, buyers feel like they're stepping into the future every time they sit behind the wheel. And this is where the government angle comes in. Ford's aggressive strategy could align perfectly with upcoming federal incentives for US-built EVs and hybrids. By positioning themselves to qualify for maximum rebates and tax credits, Ford can effectively reduce the real-world cost of its vehicles even further, without having to eat all the losses themselves. It's a shrewd financial play that could let Ford wage a long-term price war without bleeding dry. But there's a potential storm brewing. International trade analysts warn that this kind of market disruption could spark retaliation from overseas automakers, particularly in Europe and Asia. If foreign governments perceive Ford's move as a threat to their own car industries, tariffs and import restrictions could be on the table. And in today's fragile global supply chain, one wrong diplomatic move could choke off critical components, batteries, chips, rare earth metals, needed to keep Ford's assembly lines moving. Despite those risks, Ford seems determined to press forward. Reports suggest the company is already building war chests of raw materials, locking in multi-year contracts with suppliers, and even exploring in-house chip production to avoid the bottlenecks that crippled the industry during the pandemic. It's as if Ford is preparing for a long siege, a sustained campaign to outlast and outmaneuver anyone who dares challenge them. Meanwhile, consumers are growing restless in the best way possible. Search trends for Ford models are spiking, dealership phone lines are jammed, and pre-order interest in upcoming models is breaking internal records. Buyers who had sworn off new cars due to sky-high prices are suddenly talking about walking into showrooms again. And if Ford follows through with its rumored Phase 2, those showrooms might be packed wall-to-wall like it's 2005 all over again. But the most intriguing part of all, there's speculation that Ford's ultimate endgame isn't just about selling more cars. It's about redefining ownership itself. And if that's true, the next stage of this plan could turn the auto industry upside down in ways nobody is ready for. Whispers from inside Ford's strategy room suggest the company is preparing to roll out a radical new ownership model, one that blends traditional buying, long-term leasing, and subscription-style access into a single, flexible system. Instead of locking customers into 5 or 6-year loans, Ford could soon offer packages where drivers can swap vehicles seasonally, upgrade to new models midterm, or even pause payments during months they don't need a car. If this happens, it could completely dismantle the way Americans think about car ownership. Imagine a contractor driving an F-150 during the work-heavy summer months, then switching to a compact electric crossover for winter commutes, all without touching a bank loan or juggling multiple leases. It's the kind of convenience that could make traditional competitors look stuck in the past, and it would strike directly at the heart of dealership financing profits. The tech integration here is where it gets even wilder. Sources hint Ford is developing an app-based ecosystem where customers can manage everything: vehicle swaps, insurance, maintenance scheduling, even real-time trade-in valuations, right from their phones. If that sounds like something out of Tesla's playbook, that's because it is, but Ford's twist is making it accessible to the mass market, not just the high-end EV buyer. Dealers, understandably, are divided. Some see this as the ultimate customer retention tool, ensuring buyers never drift to another brand. Others are concerned it will erode their role in the sales process, shifting power and profit back to the manufacturer. A veteran Ford dealer in Michigan reportedly told colleagues, "If this takes off, we're not selling cars anymore. We're selling memberships." And here's where it circles back to the market shockwave. If Ford launches this alongside its already aggressive pricing and financing push, competitors could be cornered into reacting before they're ready. Subscription-style ownership requires massive logistical planning, fleet management systems, and flexible manufacturing, all things that take years to perfect. Ford, however, might already have the infrastructure in place thanks to pilot programs quietly tested in select cities over the past 2 years. But there's still one piece of this puzzle no one's talking about publicly: the mysterious internal project Ford executives keep referring to as Phase 0. And if the rumors about what that entails are true, we might not just be witnessing a market shakeup, we could be staring at the birth of an entirely new automotive era. Phase 0, according to insiders who've caught glimpses of the internal briefings, is not a product launch. It's a reset button for how Ford designs, builds, and delivers vehicles from the ground up. The idea is to strip away every inefficiency in the production process, from the moment raw materials arrive to the second a car rolls off the lot. This isn't just about shaving off a few costs. It's about reinventing Ford's supply chain into a hyper-efficient, self-sustaining ecosystem that no competitor can match. Leaked documents suggest Ford is experimenting with what they're calling micro-factories, smaller, highly automated plants scattered across strategic regions in the U.S. and potentially overseas. Instead of relying solely on massive, centralized plants that are vulnerable to shutdowns and shipping delays, these micro-factories could produce vehicles closer to their final destinations. That means faster delivery times, lower transportation costs, and the ability to adapt production to local market demands almost instantly. The tech backbone of Phase 0 is reportedly an AI-driven logistics network capable of predicting supply shortages, reallocating resources on the fly, and even adjusting vehicle configurations in real time based on customer orders. Imagine ordering a custom Ford online and having it built in a nearby facility, ready for pickup in weeks, not months. If Ford pulls this off, it wouldn't just speed up delivery. It would crush the waiting times that have frustrated buyers for years. And here's where it gets even more disruptive. Phase Zero could allow Ford to update vehicles the way tech companies update smartphones. Over-the-air software improvements, modular hardware upgrades, and even interchangeable body panels could make cars feel new years after purchase. Instead of trading in for the latest model, customers could upgrade key features, keeping them in Ford's ecosystem longer, while reducing the churn of constantly producing entirely new cars. Competitors are terrified of this concept. A GM insider allegedly called Phase Zero the nuclear option, because if it works, it could make older manufacturing models obsolete almost overnight. And if Ford manages to tie this into its rumored subscription ownership plan, it could lock in customers in a way the auto industry has never seen before. But deep inside these reports, there's an even more audacious detail. Ford might not be planning to keep Phase Zero to themselves. Whispers suggest they could license the system to other automakers in exchange for long-term revenue streams, effectively turning Ford from just a car maker into a tech and production powerhouse. If Ford really goes through with licensing Phase Zero, it could flip the entire competitive landscape on its head. Instead of battling over market share solely through car sales, Ford could become the backbone of the industry, supplying the very technology and production systems its rivals depend on. In that scenario, every truck, SUV, or EV built using Ford's microfactory model will be sending royalty payments straight back to Ford's coffers, even if it wore a competitor's badge. Think about that for a second. Chevrolet, Toyota, even BMW could theoretically be using Ford's system to build their vehicles faster and cheaper. And if Ford structures those contracts strategically, they could guarantee themselves a cut of global auto profits for decades, regardless of brand loyalty. It's the kind of business pivot that moves a company from cyclical manufacturing risk into a steady, tech-driven revenue machine. But it's not without danger. Licensing out Phase Zero means exposing its inner workings to competitors who could, over time, adapt and replicate the concept. Ford would need to lock in ironclad agreements, proprietary software protections, and perhaps even exclusive access to certain suppliers to keep the upper hand. One leak, one breach, and the competitive moat could shrink overnight. Still, the upside is massive, especially when combined with Ford's consumer-facing moves. Imagine a future where the company dominates the retail market with aggressive pricing, subscription-based ownership, and tech-loaded vehicles, all while quietly collecting a slice of the profits from other automakers using its manufacturing platform. That's not just competing in the car industry, that's controlling it. And if that sounds like a power grab, that's because it is. Some analysts are already comparing Ford's potential move to what Microsoft did with Windows, turning their software into the default operating system for an entire industry. If Phase Zero becomes the Windows of auto manufacturing, Ford won't just be a car company anymore. They'll be the infrastructure provider for the global auto market. But there's still one more layer to this unfolding strategy, one that's been kept so tightly guarded even most Ford employees have no idea it exists, an initiative insiders only refer to as Project Catalyst. And from what little has leaked, it could be the final piece that ties all of Ford's bold moves into one unstoppable master plan. Project Catalyst, according to the few whispers that have slipped through the cracks, is Ford's ultimate convergence plan, a masterstroke designed to fuse their aggressive pricing, subscription-based ownership, Phase Zero manufacturing, and tech partnerships into a single, unstoppable ecosystem. The core idea? Every Ford vehicle, every service, every customer interaction becomes part of one unified platform that's as much a lifestyle hub as it is a transportation solution. Here's how it would work. Project Catalyst would link your Ford vehicle to your digital life in ways that go far beyond navigation and music streaming. Think AI-driven maintenance alerts that schedule service before you even notice a problem, personalized subscription bundles that let you upgrade features on demand, and cross-platform integration with smart homes, wearables, and even workplace systems. Your Ford wouldn't just be your car. It would be your personal assistant, entertainment center, and mobility manager all in one. This seamless integration isn't just about convenience. It's about loyalty. Once customers are plugged into the Catalyst ecosystem, leaving becomes harder and harder. Switching brands wouldn't just mean buying a new car. It would mean giving up an entire connected experience tailored to your life. It's the same lock-in effect tech companies like Apple and Amazon have mastered, but now applied to the automotive world on a scale never attempted before. And here's the genius twist. By tying this to their microfactory network and AI-driven logistics, Ford could deliver upgrades, accessories, and even entirely new vehicle configurations faster than anyone else. Want to switch from a standard F-150 to a performance package? Catalyst could have it ready for you in days. Need a long-range battery upgrade for your EV before a big road trip? Catalyst makes it happen without a months-long wait. Industry insiders are already calling this the Appleification of the auto industry, and the timing couldn't be more perfect. With competitors still reeling from Ford's initial announcement, Catalyst could land like the final, crushing blow, locking in market dominance for years, maybe even decades. If Ford truly executes everything we've uncovered, aggressive market pricing, revolutionary ownership models, the Phase Zero manufacturing overhaul, and now Project Catalyst, they won't just be leading the auto industry. They'll be rewriting its rules entirely. And when that happens, the rest of the market will have only two choices: adapt to Ford's game or get left in the dust. This is just the beginning of Ford's industry takeover. So hit that subscribe button now, because the next bombshell is already on the way, and you won't want to miss it.